Well, yeah, I've got my new addition to the company. An old antique store was selling this big old wax melter. I do have the lid. Got a bunch of wax and all kinds of stuff up, but it was not beeswax. Excuse me, as I have my 2-year-old and 3-year-old with me over Thanksgiving break. I went ahead and got these fittings for it. This is the wax side. That is your water for your double insulated jacket. The Watlow immersion heater does work. So I poured 5 gallons of water in there. This is at least a 20-gallon tank, man. It's awesome. Got a cheap heck of a deal. Filled up with water, cleaned all this out here. We've got water up to this line here. I'm gonna plug it in, turn it on, set it to around 160, get the water hot, and pour maybe like 15 gallons worth of wax cappings in there and go from there. All right, so this is a bunch of the stuff I got. A bunch of candle making stuff, all kinds of big chunks of wax. I'm gonna get rid of that. It's not beeswax, you know, some candle making supplies. So with that being said though, I do want to run this and clean it. If you look right here in the drain, there's some hard wax in there. I don't want to get that wax mixed with my wax, so I'm just going to turn this on as a test trial. Should take a day or so to heat up. I want to get this water hot and then kind of make sure that drains out clean. And, you know, just kind of wipe everything down. Then I'll add my wax cappings. Before, what I had to do was, you know, boil a pot of water, put the wax in there, separate it, which left me with a good little chunk here. Excuse our mess here. But of course, I can only do a little at a time. So this will get cleaned up and then thrown back in there just to add to our total. Isaiah, say hi. Jojo, say hi. And then this right here is going to be a warming cabinet. I need to clean this over the weekend. This will be a warming cabinet for, and it's got 2 layers. Not only that, but I have this big cabinet back here. This actually is on right now, and that's got a couple buckets. Isaiah, come on. That's got a couple buckets in there warming up, decrystallizing, and a bunch of 1-pound bottles. All right, y'all, so it did not take long. You could see, got some particles floating. You could see the wax that was in there before. It was in that little trough where the drain is. It is now melted. I used a candy thermometer. We're at 162 degrees, which is perfect for what I want. Gonna drain this out now, put a fresh batch of water in there, add my beeswax cappings. This is only a couple hours after having it on, so it wasn't too bad. All right, and I drained most of that water. I'm happy with how much comes out. You know, all that would be wax, so that's a cool, how they have it at the bottom, how it's tapered. Most of the wax, I don't really want to lift it up because it's hot, but here we go. Well, I just dumped about 15 gallons, so 3 5-gallon buckets of wax cappings in here. As you can see on the corners already, it's already starting to melt them. But of course, we're gonna have to have this all set up in here, and this will for sure take a day or two. Tomorrow will be ready, and then I'll skim it, skim all the chunks and stuff, but mix it in here every once in a while to get it all. Of course, once I close the lid, it will also get hot in here where this whole layer will be melting as well. I need to make a contraption to push all the slum gum down, but this is where we're going to start for right now. Our first batch ever. Let it get hot. I just put fresh water, so it's not even at 160 degrees yet. So once it gets going, we'll see how it is. Alrighty, y'all. So it's literally been maybe 30 minutes, not even. I added some honeycomb that I did from a bee removal. I drained the honey, gave it to a guy that needed the honey for feeding animals, and left that honeycomb in there, and it's got a lot of hive beetles. So I've got larvae everywhere out here. But added that chunk in here, or some of that honeycomb in here, and I did render a piece the other day. I added that in here as well. It's crazy. It's only been 30 minutes, and you can see that is pure beeswax already. And you'll see over here, that's slum gum on the outside, pure beeswax. But look at this. So you see my finger? That's pure, beautiful beeswax. So of course, it's gonna take several hours, and I'm gonna have to mix this. But it's already starting getting hot, and then once it's all melted, I'll be able to kind of strain some of that slum gum, and then pour some of that wax out of there. But look at the beautiful. From this nasty stuff, there's a few hive beetles running around from, like I said, all this comb was from a bee removal. I don't want this in there because this has bits of paint from that door. If you look on my YouTube, it's got a door that I did a bee removal from, but you can see that beeswax setting up. Of course, I'll let it get hot and mix in there. And all right, y'all, it's Thanksgiving morning. As you can see, everything is melted down very well. You got some slum gum up there. What I'm going to do next is use this to kind of get that slum gum, press any wax out, get this to where it's clear. Hopefully mainly just liquid, not a lot of slum gum, and start draining it out. Thanksgiving morning, I don't know if I'll do it all today. We got to get ready and go to my parents' house, about an hour and a half away, for Thanksgiving. So all right, y'all, so I really shouldn't be doing any of this until I get back from Thanksgiving holidays with the family out of town. If I drain down here, it's pretty much just your water with honey and everything like that. I really don't want to mess with it. I got a couple plastic containers. I'm just gonna do a scoop at a time just to get a little block of beeswax. I just want to try it before I leave and see what it looks like. So I'm just gonna skin the top, put this strainer here with the paper towel, and then just pour it over there and see how it goes. All right, so I just did one block for right now before I leave. Let it set for a few hours. When I get back into town, maybe 10 hours from now, we'll see what it looks like. Beautiful. There is some dirt in there. I didn't use I used the paper towel in there, but it just clogged it, so I just removed it. So there is going to be some grit at the bottom, but that's totally fine with me for now. All right, y'all, so I just got back from our family Thanksgiving. I want to look at the block. Beautiful, solid. Let's see if I can tilt it over one-handed. It does have some particles at the bottom, which is fine. Look at that, a solid black block of wax.